Everyone thought he was just another stray dog wandering the neighborhood, old, limping, ignored by most people. But when 6-year-old Emma fell into the frozen pond, that ordinary dog moved with precision no street animal should possess. Because the faded collar around his neck told a story no one had bothered to read. Welcome to Oldlight Stories. Before we begin this incredible tale of courage and loyalty, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button. These stories matter. Maple Street was the kind of quiet suburban neighborhood where children played freely and neighbors knew each other's names. At the end of the street, where the houses gave way to Riverside Park, lived the community's unofficial mascot, a large German Shepherd mix that everyone simply called Rex. Rex had appeared 3 years ago, seemingly from nowhere. No missing dog posters, no frantic owners searching, just an aging dog with graying fur around his muzzle, a slight limp in his right rear leg, and eyes that seemed to carry memories no one could read. The neighborhood had slowly adopted him, Mrs. Plack a Black. Chen from the corner house left food bowls on her porch. The Patterson family built a small shelter behind their garage where Rex could sleep during storms. Children would pet him cautiously. He was gentle but distant, friendly but somehow professional. Emma Rodriguez was 6 years old and fearless. Unlike other children who approached Rex carefully, she would run straight to him, wrap her small arms around his neck, and whisper secrets into his fur. Rex seemed different around Emma, more alert, more protective. He would walk her to the school bus stop each morning and be waiting when she returned. On the first truly cold day of December, Emma convinced her mother Sarah to let her play in Riverside Park after school. Just for 30 minutes and stay where I can see you from the kitchen window, Sarah had said. The park's small pond had frozen overnight, not solidly, but enough to create a deceptive layer of ice that looked thicker than it was. Emma had seen older kids skating on ponds in movies and decided she could walk across this one in her snow boots. Rex was napping behind the Pattersons' garage when he heard the splash. The sound cut through his sleep like an alarm. His ears shot up, his body tensed. Then came the screaming, high, terrified, desperate, Emma's voice. Rex was running before he was fully awake. His limp disappeared. His aging body moved with sudden strength and purpose. This wasn't the shuffling gait of a neighborhood stray. This was something else entirely. Emma had broken through the ice 15 feet from shore. The water was only 4 feet deep, but for a 6-year-old weighed down by winter clothes, it might as well have been an ocean. She was thrashing, panicking, going under. Rex reached the pond's edge in seconds. Without hesitation, he plunged into the freezing water. Sarah Rodriguez heard the commotion from her kitchen. She looked out to see her daughter's bright red jacket bobbing in dark water, and a large dog swimming toward her with powerful, deliberate strokes. Emma! Sarah screamed, running toward the pond. Rex reached Emma just as she went under for the 3rd time. Instead of grabbing her clothes randomly, he did something remarkable. He positioned himself beneath her, letting her grab onto his collar and back. Then he began swimming not directly to shore, but at an angle, creating the most efficient path to safety while accounting for current and ice drift. This wasn't instinct, this was training. Rex pulled Emma to shallow water where Sarah could wade in and help. The entire rescue took 90 seconds. Emma was conscious, coughing up pond water, but alive. As Sarah wrapped Emma in her coat, she noticed something about Rex. The dog wasn't shaking from cold or adrenaline like she was. He stood calmly, water dripping from his fur, watching Emma with professional concern. Like he'd done this before. Good boy, Sarah whispered, her voice shaking. Good boy, Rex. That's when she saw it. As Rex shook water from his coat, his collar shifted, revealing something beneath the matted fur of his neck. Numbers and letters, faded but still visible. K9 Unit 247. Sarah's breath caught. She looked closer. Beneath the faded tattoo was something else, a small weathered tag attached to his collar, not a rabies tag or city license. Something official. Officer Rex, Riverside Police Department K9 Unit, Search and Rescue Division. Sarah stared at the tag, then at Rex, then back at the tag. This wasn't just a neighborhood stray. This was a retired police dog. a trained search and rescue specialist who had been living among them, forgotten and overlooked for 3 years. While Emma recovered at home with hot chocolate and her mother's anxious hovering, word of the rescue spread through Maple Street. But it was Sarah's discovery about Rex's true identity that changed everything. She called the Riverside Police Department, K9 Unit 247. The desk sergeant paused. "Hold on, let me transfer you to Detective Mills. He'll want to hear this." Detective Robert Mills had been with the force for 20 years. When Sarah described the dog and read him the tag information, his voice changed completely. "Ma'am, are you certain about that tag number?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because Rex was reported missing 3 years ago after his handler, Officer David Chen, died in a car accident. We searched for months. Rex just vanished. We assumed he'd been picked up by another family or—" Mills paused. "Can you describe the dog?" Sarah described Rex, the limp, the graying fur, the gentle but distant personality. "That's him," Mills said quietly. "Rex saved 14 people during his 7 years of service. Water rescues, building collapses, missing persons. He was one of our best." An hour later, Detective Mills stood in Sarah's living room, looking down at Rex, who lay calmly beside Emma's chair as she drew pictures of their adventure. "Hey, partner," Mills said softly. Rex's ears perked up at the word partner. He stood slowly, approached Mills, and sat in perfect form, back straight, head high, waiting for orders. Mills knelt down and examined Rex's collar. "This is definitely him. Look at this." He pointed to a small scar above Rex's left eye. "Got that during a warehouse collapse rescue in 2018. Emma looked up from her drawing. "Rex has always been special. He walks me to the bus stop and everything." Mills smiled. "He was protecting you, sweetheart. That's what he was trained to do." Over the next few days, the story spread beyond Maple Street. Local news picked it up. Retired police dog living as stray saves child from drowning. But the real story was deeper than that. Detective Mills did some research into Officer David Chen's accident. Chen had been off-duty, driving home with Rex in his personal vehicle when a drunk driver hit them. Chen died instantly. Rex had been thrown from the car, injured but alive. In his confusion and grief, he'd wandered away from the accident scene. For 3 years, Rex had been living rough, surviving on kindness, carrying the training and instincts of a professional rescue dog with no one to serve. Until Emma fell through the ice. The neighborhood organized a small ceremony to honor Rex. Detective Mills brought Rex's official service medals, awards for valor, life-saving commendations, certificates of excellence. Mrs. Chen, no relation to Officer Chen, cried when she realized she'd been feeding a decorated hero. The Riverside Police Department offered to take Rex back, but Mills had a better idea. He's served his time. Maybe it's time he got to just be a dog. Sarah Rodriguez stepped forward. "If Rex is willing, we'd love to give him a permanent home. Emma and he seemed to have a special bond." Mills knelt beside Rex one more time. "What do you say, partner? Ready to retire for real this time?" Rex looked at Emma, who was holding a drawing she'd made of him wearing a police badge. Then he walked over to her, sat down beside her chair, and placed his head on her lap. His choice was clear. The ceremony ended with Detective Mills officially transferring Rex's care to the Rodriguez family. But he left behind something special: Rex's old K9 badge and a shadow box containing his service records. "Every hero deserves to have their story told," Mills said. As the crowd dispersed, Emma hugged Rex tightly. "I always knew you were special," she whispered. Rex just looked at her with those knowing eyes, content finally to be both the hero he'd always been and the family dog he'd never had the chance to be. That night, for the first time in 3 years, Rex slept inside a warm house on a soft bed next to someone who understood exactly what he was worth. Heroes come in all forms. Sometimes they wear badges, sometimes they wear fur, and sometimes they wander neighborhoods for years, protecting and serving without anyone realizing the depth of their training, their experience, or their heart. Rex never stopped being a hero, even when the world forgot he was one. He just waited for the moment when his skills were needed most. Because that's what real heroes do. They show up when it matters, regardless of recognition or reward. Have you ever encountered an animal who seemed to possess unusual intelligence or training? Someone whose past remained a mystery until a crucial moment revealed their true nature? Share their story in the comments. Because at Oldlight Stories, we believe every hero deserves recognition, whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. If this story moved you, subscribe and share. Help us honor the forgotten heroes who serve silently among us, waiting for their moment to save the day. We'll see you in the next story. Until then, remember, heroes don't always announce themselves. Sometimes they just quietly do what needs to be done.